Good evening, I'm the Game Tutor, and tonight we're going to be looking at My Friend Pedro, Bloods, Bullets and Bananas. Now, this game is an indie game by Dead Toast Entertainment that has had a decent amount of media coverage and is published by Devolver Digital. And essentially it is a action sort of gun flowing through the level sort of game. Anyway, we're going to have a look at it and we're going to see my first impressions and see if we think it is worth picking up. So, new game, normal, hard or bananas. Right, well let's go for normal to begin with and see how we get on. Hey, wake up. Rise and slide, sheepy head. Right, so I am a man in a mask. Been spoken to by Pedro. Right, so got moves. Try wall jumping up here. Okay, that makes sense. So, right, first impressions. The controls were a little floatier than I expected. They've actually got quite a lot of weight to them, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so roll through that. Okay, so it is a bit twin stick shootery. So, first impressions, obviously, it looks good. It's got a very distinctive art style. The kind of, how can I put it, the weighting of what I've done so far feels, well, it feels quite weighty, which is quite unusual. It doesn't feel kind of how I expected it to feel, based on everything I'd seen. That's Mitch the Butcher. And that's Bob. Poor Bob. I feel Bob and Mitch are about to die. Right, so now okay, so there isn't actually lock on. There is actually, yeah, it's actually a twin stick shooter. Have you been drinking enough water? You seem a bit out of it. Oh. We go into Pedro's memory palace. Right. This is focus. Okay, right, so focus, which I'm guessing allows you to, yep, do like all sorts of crazy things. Right. Full flip in slow motion, process bars. Oh. Right, let's go. Right. How do I separate my aim? Okay, so if I hold lock on one, I can shoot the other one. Okay. Right. Split kill all over it now. Got to remember not to accident. There's a lot on the left button, like so pushing it in, and there's a lot of buttons here that don't seem to be used, at least not at the moment. Alright, pick up some stuff. Oh, no, didn't go so well. Does John know what he's doing? Relax. Oh, hello. That's something I don't want to get involved in. Well, I held L. Okay, apparently not. That's my little dodge. Right, okay. So it's kind of broken up into levels, but they don't seem to have like, there's not like a specific, you are level 1, you are level 2. I keep sort of thinking, is there only going to be any secrets, but... Okay. Starting to get the hang of it. Let's go down and back down and kill him. There we go. Oh, I stopped talking there. You always know that it's getting good when you stop talking. Oh yeah, I need to dodge bullets. Forgot about that. Good, there we go. Some bullet dodging. There we go. Oh, doing some silly jumping. There we go. Get him. Level complete. Okay, so it is levels. Fine, it is levels. C for could do better. Alright, I'll take that on the first go. It's a little bit like Hotline Miami, but like a side-scroller sort of version of Hotline Miami. And obviously Katana Zero, if you've played Katana Zero, it's similar to that, but without the kind of one-hit deaths that those games kind of have. But it's got that kind of feel for it in terms of the way the combat works. Do a bit of sliding around. A bit of a dodge. Shoot him. Oh, I ran out of bullet time. I'm sorry, focus. It's not called bullet time, is it? Slow that down. Oh. I need the health. I needed that. Shoot him. Right. It's going okay. I'll press X to kick enemies. Exciting. Try and kick someone. Oh, that was good. Kicking works reasonably well. Come on, I'm about to run out of. There we go. So now that I've played a little bit longer, I am guessing into it more. It's not quite. It's weirdly not quite what I expected. It's a lot heavier in terms of the way you move. Ooh, still could do better, but it is good, and I am enjoying it. I'm kind of wishing the combat was a little bit more like Seraph, which if you can check out my review for from a couple of years ago, because that was a very similar kind of game, Well, actually, what am I talking about? It wasn't similar, but I kind of think I preferred the combat in that, where the combat then became more about, the combat was more about dodging. It was more about dodging than it was about shooting, in the sense of there we go, that's a nice kill. Kill him. Oh, how do I get down there? Oh, okay, I've rolled through there. But yeah, and that was, personally, I preferred that style of combat. But, you know, this has got, I can see why you might want this style of combat. Double. That went well. This is where it's going to be hoped. Dodging, some jumping. That was a splendid. Oh, get through there. Jump over that. Two ways. Split kill. God, that was hard work. Try not to do that better this time. That was pretty hectic. That was a bit stressful. Oh, I did better that time. I'm getting better. I'm B for bravissimo. So, what do I think? Initial impressions are good. I don't know if it's quite what I expected, and I'm not sure that's necessarily in a positive way. The combat's a bit clunky. I think maybe, obviously I'm playing this on a controller, I think actually maybe this might work a little bit better on a mouse and keyboard, where you control the kind of direct sort of angle of what you're doing. Okay, hold on. But I am getting a better, like, okay, I've now got a machine gun, which, okay, that feels better. think there's some sort of shield going down here. Oh, I don't see that. Okay. Okay, now that I'm kind of starting to get the hang of it a bit more. I do, however, still kind of wish. I don't like the fact just pushing the left trigger to do bullet time. Like, why that isn't on A button doesn't seem to do much, so why it's not on A button I have no idea. It's an unnatural button to have to press to do that, and I'm not keen on it. So would I recommend you get this? Well, hopefully you can already tell if this is the sort of thing for you. If you like Hotline Miami and those sorts of games, this has probably got something in it you're going to enjoy. But I mean, it's holding my attention, don't get me wrong, but it's just something about it that isn't quite gelling as well as I'd like it to. And I mean, I'm not saying this is a terrible game, it's not. It's just not. Maybe it is the controls. Maybe I would be better off suited playing on a different console. That was very successful. Kill. Jump in there. I wonder if I should be using maybe I should be using lock-on more often than I am. Let's try using more lock-on. I'm sure we go for this over now. Bit of a spin, bit of a kill. So, I think we're going to leave it there. I do recommend it. It's not quite what I thought it would be. It's probably something that's probably worth having a go if you know someone who's got the game before you buy. Definitely a try before you buy. It is fun. It's, again, not quite what I thought it was going to be. I was hoping combat would be more like Seraph and games like that. But still, it's good fun. It kind of also weirdly reminds me a little bit of like the Trials games in terms of the structure and how that sort of works. But give it a go if it's your sort of thing. It's out now on the eShop. Check it out.